I ain't gonna lie. I've been holding a lot of shit in lately. Oh, man, I just had like a 3.5 hour cry.
What do I owe the? What do I owe the pleasure? What do I owe the pleasure? Last time we speaking together, we wash your car for you. We wash your car. We wash your car with no shame in our hustle. When you goddamn getting into that wash, and you know that tip don't be good like goddamn this culture. Y'all better start buying this slippery soap, man. What's going on here?
The streets are buzzing and no one saw this coming. 50 Cent has just released tapes that have Rick Ross on the verge of a major blow up. This isn't your average rap rivalry, this is an all-out battle. We have the exclusive details on how these explosive recordings surfaced, and once you hear what's on them, you'll understand why Ross is unraveling. 50 didn't just make a move, he changed the game. Now it's total chaos, and the fallout has only just begun.
Just like New York, just like Mount Vernon, New York City, Mount Vernon, and Miami, all that is the same, bruh. Nobody wants to be near him. Nobody wants to touch what he touched, be where he at. You understand? It's crazy, bruh, how his fall from grace, which was never from grace. It's just like the devil just kicked him out of hell. Because he was never in nothing graceful and did anything graceful. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what you say about, okay, he did the music, he had the bad boy legacy and everything like that, man. But, you know, a few albums, a few people, you know, made to be famous, but they not here to tell their story. Black Rob, Biggie, Craig Mack. They not here to tell their story, bro. And now you got everybody telling his story.
Yeah, and I know 50, he did a recent interview with US Weekly saying that the reason why rappers are quiet about, you know, Diddy's situation is because they've been to his parties and they don't know what got caught on tape.
Bro, those people who was caught at Diddy party did not know that he had 250 tape recorders in that house. That's a big house.
Listen closely. 50 Cent has been operating from the shadows, and everything is finally falling into place. When Ross took a jab at him with the Officer Ricky diss back in 2009, many thought it was just another typical rap feud. But 50, he wasn't. Playing the same game, he was thinking several moves ahead while Ross was stuck in the basics. While Ross was out here flaunting Wingstop deals and luxury cars, 50 stayed quiet, observing and gathering evidence. Then, just when Ross thought he was untouchable, boasting about his new restaurant and feeling on top, boom, 50 strikes back. If you've been keeping an eye on his Instagram, those cryptic posts about fake flexing were just the setup. Out of nowhere, on a random Tuesday, 50 drops the tape. No caption, no explanation, just pure chaos. The clip detonated online like a bomb, and the entire industry went up in flames.
But he had 250 tape recorders in that house that they took, that the feds found. So now with them finding all that and you being at a Diddy party, you know you may have done something that was caught on one of those tapes. You just better pray to God that they don't recognize you. Those people who know that they did something, no, they're not going to speak out. They're not going to say nothing. What part of the game is that? They are not going to come forward and tell on themselves. Nah, not at all. Ice Cube, he said it himself, bro. He said that Diddy's been targeted because of what he said about those folks and those people. Now, the people who was on those tapes may feel like Diddy might be targeting them. Because if he's asked about who is this, who is that, and he's under oath with the federal government, he got to tell them. He's not going to plead the fifth.
Yeah, I know that got to be a terrible feeling, man. You did something wrong at Diddy party, and you hoping and praying that it's not caught on tape.
But they don't think they did nothing wrong. That's their lifestyle. That's their lifestyle, bruh. I ask guys all the time, if two men lay down, how many homos get up? What you mean? I mean what I mean. It's what it is.
The moment 50 dropped that tape, the entire industry went into panic mode. Emergency meetings were called, PR teams went into overdrive, and anyone linked to Ross or Diddy suddenly disappeared from sight. This wasn't just a diss track, it was a calculated strike. 50 waited until Ross felt invincible, then hit hard. Ross was in a meeting when his phone started blowing up. At first, he brushed it off, thinking it was just another one of 50's antics. But when he saw the video, everything changed. Word on the street is that this is just the beginning. 50's been holding on to this for years, waiting for the perfect moment to unleash it. Now, everyone's wondering what else he has up his sleeve. If this is just the first move, the rest could be even worse.
I'm 100% factual, but it's somebody in this story of things that seems more reliable than others, Race, is what I'll say it, just to protect my sources. But this source informed me of who these A-list celebrities are on these tapes that are being allegedly auctioned off online and through the networks. And it's put me in a little bit of a bind because I like to be fully transparent with the audience. I want to say things, but I also realize from what I'm told, because again, I haven't seen them directly yet. I haven't. And I don't know if I want to. Race, I want your advice on that too. But the problem I have is just like, typically I want to report these things, but I got to be careful legally, ethically, morally as to what we report on here. Because as Ariel, the lawyer here, did admit, and I can attest based on the information I got from a separate, reliable source, people in these videos don't know they're being videotaped. That's a big issue, Race, right? Let's start out right there. If there are people on these tapes that don't know that they were being filmed, is that okay to talk about and to share?
I have a big problem with that, as do you, Andy, and you tend to be an ethical guy and you're taking the high ground here. Notwithstanding the fact that you may have some significant information and reliable information, but the reality is that, look, I mean, if people were recorded non-consensually and you are the one to identify them, I think that's a problem, right? And I think anytime anyone has content, right, this is not an email, this is not a text message, this is video. And there's specific statutes without using specific language I don't want to get into, but everybody knows what we're talking about here.
It's Diddy with this person, I'll say that. It's Diddy with this person. Actually, yes.
Yeah, and see, the problem is, again, like non-consensually recorded, you've got a victim here who may not want to be publicly identified. That's the problem. That's the problem. And they have a right to proceed if they want to, whether it's criminally or civilly, without being identified, because we know what's going to happen. As soon as they identify themselves, there's going to be a bunch of people that come out of the woodwork who are going to unequivocally harass them and claim that didn't happen, and they're making stuff up. And there's the victims that we want to protect here, and that's significant.
Well, it's interesting because here's why I wanted to have this conversation, because I know a lot of you are like, Andy, just say it. No, I'm not going to say them, but I wanted to have this conversation as to why we're not saying it and why I think others haven't yet said it, Raised, because again, legally, ethically, morally, it's just not right. Now, there's an argument I've had with people who are like, well, they knew what they were doing with Diddy. Like these were consensual acts, like they knew, and he filmed other times. So I don't know what the big deal is. It's going to come out. It's going to come out is what I keep hearing from other reliable sources. It may come out, but it's not going to come out via me. That's just to warn you all, because I don't think it's wise for us to put out something like you just confirmed it without the consent of the other person in the video. Because again, from what I'm gathering based on some of these tapes, and again, we're still learning more and I haven't seen them with my own eyes.
All those times Ross denied working with certain people, these tapes crushed that narrative. 50 has dropped receipts exposing Ross and shady dealings with Diddy. This isn't a casual interaction. It's full-blown exposure. There's even audio of Ross bragging about under-the-table deals with up-and-coming artists, proving this wasn't a one-off. Industry insiders are saying this type of footage could ruin someone's career. What's really rattling people is how this connects to long-standing rumors about Ross' early days. These tapes tell an entirely new story, one that completely overturns everything Ross has claimed over the years.
Isn't it weird that the government was so interested in Diddy's baby oil that they took 1,000 bottles away from his house? If the government took 1,000 bottles of baby oil and somebody had things what appeared to be baby oil, and then you have to listen to the prosecutor. He said that they seized 1,000 bottles what allegedly to be baby oil. Allegedly to be baby oil. So that's telling people that it wasn't baby oil. And people think that that was baby oil, they out their mind. I don't believe it was baby oil. Yo, bro, when they went up in there, they knew what they was gonna find. They knew what was ever in that baby oil or that those bottles that appeared to be baby oil, they knew about that at first. You gotta realize 9 times out of 10, that individual that got caught at the airport, that was supposed to be their carrier, told them what they was doing and what they had. I wouldn't put him past that he told them everything. So when they went up in there, they knew they had to take whatever was out there, and that thing that appeared to be baby oil, they took that. They got to test every last one of them. Let's see how much, let's see how many of those come back to be baby oil. Bro, listen to me. Costco don't sell that much baby oil. Where you know sell that much baby oil?
Yeah, I don't know any store that sell that much baby oil. I know Costco, they came out and said that they don't even sell baby oil.
My sentiments exactly.
But you personally, right, what do you believe was in the baby oil?
If you ever seen a massage parlor being raided and they walking out the people, do they take the massage oil with them when they go? No, they just walk out the people who are being arrested.
The industry is in shock. Executives say watching those tapes was like witnessing a career unravel in real time. Ross team scrambled into emergency meetings, wondering how many more bombs 50 was holding, with Ross pushing new business deals. And Diddy dealing with his own set of issues, the timing couldn't be worse. These clips aren't just sparking drama. They're threatening Ross brands, his partnerships, and his entire reputation. Every time Ross denies it, more footage emerges, making the situation even worse. And when he saw what 50 had leaked, the situation went from bad to catastrophic.
If you ever seen a person get arrested and the people being arrested in those brothel houses, do they take out the stuff in the brothel houses? No, they don't. They take the individuals who are being arrested out the brothel houses. For them to take 1,000 bottles of baby oil, it's like that they did not leave one. They left people there, but they ain't leave not one bottle. Nobody needed no baby oil. So my whole thing about it is that there was something in that other than baby oil. That's why they took all the bottles. And 9 times out of 10, if I would give it a wild guess, it was, and like some of the people told me, it was probably that GHB.
What's that?
I think it's gamma hydrox. I looked it up, bro. Let me see. See if I can find it. I know this is just showing everything like that, but oh no. Let me. Yo, somebody tap dance or sing or do something, you know what I'm saying, while I'm doing this. Oh, here it go right here. It's gamma hydroxy butyric. What is it effect on the body? It's a euphoria, drowsiness, decreased anxiety, and memory impairment. It works on the nervous system and gives you this feeling of euphoria. So they take that and rubbed it on her, and you forget who you are, what you're doing. It can also give you memory loss, drowsiness, and that's under the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Administration.gov.
When those M notifications came through, no one was prepared. Ross lost it, going off in a 15-minute Instagram rant filled with threats that sent his PR team into a panic. He wasn't denying the tapes anymore. He was threatening 50E's life, looking exhausted and out of control. Everything unraveled quickly. He sent voice memos telling people not to share the video, dropped old skeletons, and even went live, airing out names and addresses, including 50 Seconds and his family's. That's when people started distancing themselves. His team rushed to put out statements, but Ross kept undermining them, leaving even his closest allies begging him to log off before he destroyed everything. Desperation hit hard and fast. Ross' team tried using copyright claims to wipe the tapes off the internet, but 50 had already flooded every corner of it. Ross even offered millions to find out who filmed him. By morning, his Instagram was restricted for violations, so he went rogue, making burner accounts and getting even more reckless. His lawyers were panicking. Business partners started distancing themselves. But Ross kept spiraling, dragging other artists into the mess, exposing unpaid collaborations and fake streaming numbers. It was like watching him set his own empire on fire. The industry split. Some sided with 50 while others tried to defend Ross, but his erratic behavior made it impossible for anyone to stay loyal for long.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Like, let's let this play out in the legal realm. If you ever get Ariel on your show, I'd love to talk with her and have this conversation if she's willing to do it publicly, because I still don't understand what her role is in all this. You know, and I've heard at times broker, I've heard at times advocate for victim, and I don't want to judge what she's doing or not doing. I'd love to just have a conversation about it, because I personally don't get it, right? This is a very sensitive thing. Again, if this gets turned over to the feds and the feds bring claims and this is outed, that's a totally different story. But the feds do what they're going to do. Like what we talked about months ago on your show, right? When this first went down, we knew when hard drives were seized and things happened that, look, they're going to build a case. They're going to build a case that they think they can prosecute. It's not for us to speculate what's there or what's not. But to say, you know, you have tangible evidence of something on camera that you've seen and that it's being sold in order to protect someone,
to avoid being publicly named, which is what even the lawyers are now admitting. It all feels really dirty and shady, man.
The only person that makes sense that could buy this is the victim, right? If the victim says, I don't want this to come out. Yes, it was consensual, but I don't want it to come out. I didn't know I was being recorded. Give it to that person.
Right, I guess, but you're right, because then they can actually own it. Maybe there is a version of this, and that's what Ariel's trying to allude to. You'll own it, and no other network's going to be able to buy it or show it if you own it and haven't given permission. I guess, is that maybe part of what they're trying to do here, in that the celebrity who buys it can actually then control it just from a clearance standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, look, it still raises some legal concerns, right? Because let me say it this way. If this was a transaction, if this is a business transaction wherein the victim is then acquiring the exclusive rights to this tape or tapes, and that the person who recorded it is avowing that they will not use it, I don't know where that leaves P. Diddy and the feds, right? But they have an independent right to bring this stuff to light if it gets prosecuted. But my point is, if you're transferring legal rights of this consensual or non-consensually recorded tape to the victim, I think that's a better position to be in. But then the question is this person even in a position to be able to buy the tape, right? Are they a high level celebrity? Like, who are they? We can assume that they're celebrities with millions and millions of dollars to expend on something like this. Just raises a lot of questions.
When chaos erupted, the industry's true colors came out. Meek Mill like 50 seconds posts. Artists quietly unfollowed Ross, and collaborations started disappearing without explanation. Da Khaled stayed silent. French Montana posted about karma and Future and shared many men in his story. Even Drake dropped a cryptic line about loyalty, leaving fans speculating the message couldn't have been clear. Ross was losing support and fast. Label execs went into full panic mode, canceling joint meetings and pulling artists from collaborative lineups. Subio stopped booking Ross and 50 Seconds affiliates together, and festivals quietly rearranged their sets. The tension was palpable, and it was clear this wasn't about loyalty. It was all business. When 50 teased even more tapes, the anxiety grew with rumors swirling that it was starting to feel like a new East versus West rivalry. What began as another round in the 50 versus Ross saga has now sent shockwaves through the entire industry. Artists are second-guessing every move, hesitant to pull out phones or speak openly, knowing 50 could have more tapes ready to drop. If he's been sitting on footage for 14 years, what else is lurking in the shadows? This isn't just about Ross and Diddy anymore. It's a wake-up call for everyone. In today's digital age, your past can never stay hidden. Now, the real question is, who's next? Stay tuned, because in this game, no one's safe. Hit that subscribe button. This story's far from over.